Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian here at the Atlantic Council in Washington, D.C., where we are with my friend Magnus Nordenman, the Deputy Director of the Brent Scowcroft Center for International Security. Magnus, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I understand that you have a new report out on Germany. You're one of the people who pays close attention to both NATO maritime strategy, but also particularly in the Baltic. Talk to us a little bit about your report and some of the sort of core recommendations that you guys are making.
So the report really takes a look at the German Navy's reorientation back to the north, which is the Baltic Sea and the North Atlantic more broadly. And here we have two maritime domains that are under stress and where Russia is being assertive with increasingly sophisticated capabilities. And I think here both NATO but also the United States as in its bilateral relationship with Germany really has an opportunity to help alleviate some of the capabilities gaps that exist in these two regions.
So what are the four core recommendations you guys are making for the nations in that region, whether it's on partnership, et cetera?
Right. Well, first, we think that the U.S. should look to add a maritime dimension to the European Deterrence Initiative, which really has been ground focused and looking at ground exercises in the Baltic states and Poland. That's very important, but there's also a maritime domain that is under pressure and under threat. So it's important that the U.S. Navy also gets opportunities to come over and exercise in Europe, in particular in the Baltic and the North Atlantic, where they would meet a German Navy that is newly interested in partnering and doing exercises together with the U.S.
One of the things you also suggest is a closer strategic relationship between Sweden, Finland, and Germany. Talk to us a little bit about why that would be so important.
Right. So Sweden and Finland are not NATO members, but they're important NATO partners, and they do bring some capabilities to the game in terms of anti-submarine warfare, subsurface warfare, and ISR. And with Germany being the largest naval player in the region, it makes a lot of sense that you could have a deeper relationship between these three countries to add to the capabilities pool and some of the things that are available to NATO in a crisis in the Baltic Sea region.
One of the things that the Trump administration has been specifically is extremely critical of Germany because it is the largest NATO nation aside from the United States, but that it hasn't been spending as much money as it should. Germany has committed to spend the 2% goal by 2024. As a German official told me, you guys can criticize us if we don't get there by 2024. How important, do you have a concern that this could fray the political ties of the alliance? Because the relationship between Mr. Trump and Angela Merkel has become frosty, as we saw even during her visit to the Oval Office and to Washington. How important is that increase, and is that increase worth further disrupting the alliance over? Is there a danger that push for more spending could get you more spending but politically stress the alliance?
So I think in this case it's important to be able to sort of chew gum and walk at the same time. I mean, I do think that the commitment to 2% is politically important because it says something about our commitment to each other in NATO, but both the U.S. commitment to Europe, but also Europe's commitment to being in an alliance with the United States. So it is important. On the other hand, that money needs to be spent wisely on capabilities and readiness and so on and so forth. So while we here in Washington, we should keep the pressure on Germany and other countries about fulfilling their commitments, at the same time I think we should recognize them for when they are doing good things. And I think in this case, Germany is stepping up, and that's a good thing, both in the maritime domain in the Baltic Sea, but also ashore with Enhanced Forward Presence Battalion that Germany is leading. So I think we should be able to do both at the same time.
Magnus, thanks very much.
Thank you.